you. Good morning, everyone. Welcome. Welcome to everyone who's tuning in online. Welcome to everyone who's here. Just come on in and find a seat and settle in. We're here for an exciting morning at Center for Spiritual Living, Bellingham. My name is Ronna Biggs, and I'm a practitioner here, and I'll be the platform host today. We have the delightful practitioner Cindy Clay speaking today. Yay! And we're so excited you're here, whether you are joining in from afar or coming in and getting settled. We're happy to join together today. Miss Charlene, would you like to start us with some music?
Yes, let's do this. Good morning, everyone. Would you please stand with me? Let's bring it in with Dwell Upon the Good. Today and every day I'm going to dwell upon the good. Today and every day I'm going to dwell upon the light. Today and every day I'm going to dwell upon the peace. Today and every day attitude and all that's right. What we dwell upon, we become. What we dwell upon, we become. What we dwell upon, we become. So let's dwell upon the good. Today and every day I'm going to dwell upon the love. Today and every day I'm going to dwell upon the grace. Today and every day I'm going to dwell upon the joy. Today let's dwell in each and every face. What we dwell upon, we become. What we dwell upon, we become. What we dwell upon, we become. So let's dwell upon the good. What we dwell upon, what we dwell upon, we become. What we dwell upon, we become. What we dwell upon, we become. So let's dwell upon the good. So let's dwell upon the good. So let's dwell upon the good. Yay! Feel free to greet each other. Give each other a hug or a high five, whatever comes in natural. That was really slow. We need to pick it up. Hi. Are you inviting the children up too, or do you want me to do that? You're good. Okay. 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 1, 2. Woo! Come on! I'm in the right place at the right time. I am just where I'm supposed to be. I'm in the right place at the right time. I am just where I'm supposed to be. I'm in the right place at the right time. I am just where I'm supposed to be. I'm in the right place at the right time. I'm just where I'm supposed to be. Oh, my soul is welcome here. Oh, my soul is welcome here. I am getting the message loud and clear. My soul is welcome here. Oh, my soul is welcome here. Oh, my soul is welcome here. I am getting the message loud and clear. My soul is welcome here. here. Woo! Do we have any children here this morning? If we do, we have some wonderful teachers. Please come forward, and we'll sing you guys outside. Ray. Is it Tom? Hooray for the world, I'm glad to be on it. Hooray for the world, I'm glad to be on it. Hooray for the world, it's a special place. We got Mother Nature and the human race. The world's got trees and bumblebees, rivers and lakes and the open seas, mountains and valleys and the animals too, and the sun that shines on me and you. Hooray for the world, I'm glad to be on it. Hooray for the world, I'm glad to be on it. Hooray for the world, it's a special place. We got Mother Nature and the human race. Mother Nature and the human race. Have fun!
Hello, everyone. How are you? Great. I'm Michael Tatlock. I am a practitioner here at CSO Bellingham, and I'm your Pod 1 for the day. Aren't you excited? I'm excited. So let's explain a little thing about, Pod 1. This is how you can reach all the practitioners, the various ways. There's a prayer vessel back there that you can write out a prayer, and guess what? We will do that for you. Also, you can access us through online. You can also do a prayer request, or you could join us at 7 a.m. in the morning. I'm not on weekdays, because God knows I'm not up at 7 a.m. I'm still in curlers, bases not done, but, whatever. It just happens that way. So why don't we all just take a moment, take a nice deep breath, and settle into that place where we know that still small voice lives. And knowing that there's only one power, one presence, one beingness that is love, is beauty, is harmony, is joy. It's so multifaceted. It's this diamond that resides within us. Because I know that as I am one with that divine spark, I know that everybody gathered here in this room and also online are one with that divine creative spark. And I know that as the endings have begun of the transition from old to new, we open our hearts, we open our arms to receive all the good that is waiting for us. And there's tremendous good just at the end of the bridge. And our trek over the bridge is almost complete. And so today we celebrate endings and beginnings. And I know that we've all gathered here to hear Cindy's talk and enjoy the community that we all are a part of, and our musicians and our sound team and our ushers and everybody who's pulled together to celebrate today. And all we have to do is say that this is so good, so magnificent, that all I have to do is just celebrate and say, and so it is.
I am living peace. I am breathing breathing in, I can feel what is real. I am living peace. I am breathing peace. I am knowing peace. I am living love. I am breathing love. I am knowing love. Before we sing this next song, how many of you are kind of going through it? Anybody going through it? Okay, so we're going through it together. Okay. How about if we all surrender together? Whatever it is that we're holding on to, whatever it is that we're grieving, whatever it is that just doesn't feel right, let's just surrender it into the arms of love today. Okay. I surrender. I trust and I know as I surrender, I fall into the arms of love. I surrender. I trust and I know as I surrender, I fall into the arms of love. I surrender. I trust and I know I surrender. Fall into the arms of love. And again, I surrender. So be it.
You know, I saw the slides last night because Philip sends the slides out so we can see what's coming. And that's when I saw all the songs that were picked. They are so perfect for what we're going to talk about today. I'm always just so amazed at the power of the one mind creating this service. So when Rev Deb asked me to speak today, she told me the topic was love. And so I didn't have any time to think about it all. So I was like, okay, we're going to do living in the vast field of love. So here we have our topic, right? And when I sat down to think about it, I just started discovering how many spiritual teachers talk about love, right? It is like a core spiritual principle. So we're going to look at some thoughts that I hope inspire you today, and I also hope challenge you. Because when we really dig into what love is asking for us, asking from us. It's challenging. So how do we live in the vast field of love? And what is that anyway? So another way to talk about that, Jesus called it the kingdom of heaven. So I know we don't often talk about Jesus here, but we're going to talk about Jesus today because Jesus was a teacher of love. So we often talk about Jesus as the great example in our denomination. And so Jesus said, the kingdom of heaven is within, right? And the whole emphasis of that teaching is that the kingdom of heaven is not outside of us. It's not something we strive for. It's not something that's delayed. It's not something we're going to have after we die. The kingdom of heaven is right here and right now. The vast field of love in which we live is right here and right now. So our life purpose really is to remember who we are, where we are, and to live from that place. So I just thought, when you start thinking about love, then you start seeing messages of love everywhere. So yesterday on Facebook, I saw a quote from Pope Francis, and I was like, oh, there you go. He said, what is the most important subject to learn in life? To learn to love. So here we are. And I decided to explore Emma Curtis Hopkins, who I adore. She wrote Scientific Christian Mental Practice. She was a 19th century Christian mystic. And so it's going to be a little Bible-y today. So just a trigger warning here for anybody that's like, gosh, I didn't want to think about the Bible. You're going to be looking at teachings of love today. So when my daughter reads a book, she always skips to the end. She skips to the last chapter. She reads the last 2 pages because she wants to decide whether she's going to invest any more time in this. So we're going to skip to chapter 12 of Scientific Christian Mental Practice. There are actually 12 lessons that Emma Curtis Hopkins explains in her book. We're going to skip the first 11 and go straight to chapter 12, which is called The Crown of Glory. And here's what she says. It's right at the beginning of the chapter. Jesus was so full to overflowing with love that the plagues and dangers of the world did not terrify him in the least. Wow. Imagine being so full of love that you're not troubled or bothered by the chaos, the dangers, the conflict, the discord that's around you. It doesn't touch you. Emma also says, when we love greatly, love supremely, we see nothing to do. And finished, beautiful life satisfies us everywhere we walk. Wow. Can you imagine being satisfied with the world everywhere you walk? Wherever you go, all you see is love? Because that is what Emma calls the crown of glory. So the crown of glory, the kingdom of heaven, the field of love, all describing that consciousness that is ours to claim. Emma also says to love is to see God in all. To see God in all, in the face of every person. In the midst of every situation, to see God there. And there are no exceptions to that statement. If you're thinking, oh, except for that one person, there aren't any exceptions, right? There's no one cast out of the heart of love, not a single person, because that is the kingdom of heaven and the field of love that we are claiming. And so that's not just a Christian teaching. The poet Rumi said, out beyond ideas of wrongdoing and right doing, there is a field. I will meet you there. What field is Rumi talking about? The field of love, right? Where there is no blame, there is no judgment, there's no finger pointing. Now this is elevated spiritual truth, right? We're looking to the top of the mountain right now. So I want to acknowledge that some of us are going through things that we go, well, I don't see God in that yet, right? And that's okay, yet, okay? Because where we do our work, where we have the greatest spiritual development, is in the muck and the chaos and the disorder of the world. It's right here. We don't have to wait for anything to change. And what we're essentially doing is seeing beyond the appearances to the higher truth, which is the presence of love always. So I'm taking a class in ministerial school. Some of you know I'm in ministerial school. I'm in my third quarter. And I'm taking a class called Contemporary Applications of Science of Mind. And I want you to know this is the most triggering class I have ever taken in my life. Because what we do is dive into current world and national issues. And we go deep into those issues to look at what's happening. So we're looking at news sources, we're reading articles. I've written papers now on immigration and deportation, on transgender rights. I just wrote another one. Oh yeah, on the genocide in Gaza. And I got to say, when I'm down there immersed in all of the facts about whatever this event is, I am deeply troubled. I am angry. I am upset. I feel helpless. What am I supposed to be doing about this, you know? And so then the next step in the process is to look up, get out of that and look up to the higher spiritual truth. So then I start looking at the global vision for Centers for Spiritual Living, to look at what we stand for as a denomination, to look at the world that we are working to create together. And then I look at the writings of Ernest Holmes, the founder of Science of Mind. He has a lot to say about what's really happening in the world. Because when he was writing, there were wars, there was turmoil, there was conflict, right? And I find those higher spiritual truths and apply them to whatever the situation is that I'm looking at. So I told Dr. Kathy Hearn, who's teaching the class, that the universe has brought certain people and situations into my experience right now to trigger me and to give me the greatest spiritual growth possible, right? That right now, where we live right now, is the opportunity to expand ourselves, to expand our consciousness, to expand our hearts, to become more of who we are in the world. And so, what if what's happening today is all happening so that we can learn to live in the field of love, right? Otherwise, it feels like a paradox, a contradiction, an impossibility. But maybe this is where my learning ground is. So we probably all had experiences where we've been talking politics with somebody, and we've gotten really mad about somebody, or some situation, or some people who did something we don't like, or some people who are horrible, and we might even label them evil, and we might even say we hate them. We hate this person. We hate this situation. Tell me I'm not the only one that has done this. Yeah, because I've been there. I've done this, right? So let's hear from Hafiz, the Persian poet, who said, "What we speak becomes the house we live in." I know, that's like, oh my. What house do you want to live in? Do you want to live in a house of chaos and hatred and disorder? Right? I know I don't. I don't want to be in that house, right? So Hafiz is like right here saying, what are you talking about? Right? What are you occupying your thoughts with? Ernest Holmes says that we are each like spiritual broadcasting stations. So in his day, it was radio broadcasting. We could think about networking. But he said we're each like spiritual broadcasting stations. And what we put out into the universe comes back. It's a big circular system. And what we take in, because we're also spiritual receiving stations, what we take in, we then put back out again, right? So in this big network of information flow, what are we taking in? What are we putting out? There's a little responsibility here, but it's like, what is it we want to fill our consciousness with? What kind of world do we want to live in? Because it starts with the world that we are seeing right now, the world that we are railing against, hating, reinforcing, because it's a circular system, in the here and now. Is that the world you want? Heck no, not for me. So here's what Emma Curtis Hopkins says, and I have to go, trigger warning, this is high spiritual truth. The world in which we live is the exact record of our thoughts. If we do not like the world we live in, then we do not like our thoughts. This is discord. There are thoughts which we can love greatly while we think them. They make conditions which we love. So lift up your finger and just point it right here. Okay. You are the center of your own universe, right? It begins and ends right here with you. So it is tempting to feel helpless in the face of what's happening in the world. But when we turn within, we find the finished kingdom. We find the field of love. It's right here with us. This is what Ernest Holmes says. The song of hate must be laid down if we are to sing a hymn of praise. The song of hate must be laid down if we are to sing a hymn of praise. So after the election last year, I got myself so worked up in that election, and I was listening to all the different pundits and prognosticators, and I was on all the different stations that were talking about it and predicting horrible things if the right person didn't get elected and yada, yada, yada. And there was so much anger and hate. And when the election concluded, I was like, oh man, I have spent months in outrage to no purpose. Like, why? And so I turned it all off. I stopped watching the news. I stopped listening to the radio. I turned on the symphony channel in my car. So now wherever I go, I listen to symphonies. I am so much happier. Now, I am not ignoring the news. I read the news, right? I know what's happening. I'm up with current events. I'm taking this class that's making me do that too. And, so I know what's happening. But I am not living in upset. I'm not living in outrage. I am happy. And I'm able to love more. I'm focusing on kindness and compassion. I'm noticing the good and praising it. A couple weeks ago, I was in Starbucks, and I was like, oh, I'm going to pay for the order of the person behind me. I've heard of people doing that. So I just thought, well, let's see what that feels like, So I paid for their order. It wasn't too expensive. It was like $20. And so I paid for it. And then I pulled my car out, and I drove around the Starbucks as fast as I could so I could see their faces when they were told that their order had been paid for. And they were just like, what? They looked so happy. And I was just so happy all day. Every time I thought about that, I just chuckled to myself. Like, how sweet was that, to experience what it was like to do that for somebody. So we are being called to love the world and every person in it as Christ Jesus loved. One of Emma's most radical principles is do not accuse. Okay, she says, I do not accuse the world or myself of sin. All is well. She also says, don't complain, because what you complain about will come back right at you. So, just another little one to file away there. So I want to tell you a parable. This is a parable that Jesus told. But Jesus told the parable of the prodigal son. And I'm going to tell you the story of the prodigal daughter. Just update it a little bit. Okay, so in this story, there are two daughters. And the youngest daughter asks her dad for her inheritance. But then she takes her inheritance and she moves out of state to Las Vegas. And there in Las Vegas, she squanders it all in reckless living and drinking and going to shows on the Las Vegas Strip and gambling. And pretty soon she has lost it all. She's partying, and soon there's nothing left. And just when she thinks it couldn't get any worse, she has to sell her car to pay her bills, Grocery prices rise astronomically. She gets COVID. Her landlord triples her rent and then evicts her. That's rock bottom, right? She is at the bottom. She doesn't know what to do. And she remembers her family. She remembers her father. And she remembers her old life. And so, taking her last frequent flyer miles, she decides to come home. And she decides, I feel ashamed. I don't know if my dad's going to take me back, but maybe I can live in the house and at least be a housekeeper there. Well, her dad, seeing her post on Facebook that she is coming home that day, rushes to the airport to greet her, to embrace her. He is so happy that she's home. He's so happy that she's home that he has quickly arranged a banquet of all of her favorite foods at the local country club. And he's going to bring her home to this big celebration that she has returned. Well, there is another daughter in this story. And the older daughter is just a tad bit resentful seeing all this. I mean, she didn't leave with her inheritance. She worked 40 hours a week at a good job. She was no burden to her father. She doesn't understand what's happening here. And her dad, seeing her resentment, reminds her, all that I have is yours. But I am joyful that my daughter, who I thought we had lost, is home again. So the prodigal story, the prodigal daughter, is a story about unconditional love and forgiveness. Yeah? In the field of love, God does not punish us for our mistakes. Now, we sometimes suffer the consequences of bad choices and mistakes. We suffer the consequences of misusing spiritual law. But that's not divine love punishing us. No. By the way, wishing that somebody were dead is a misuse of spiritual law. So don't do that. This parable is also a story about forgiveness because Dad forgives his daughter wholeheartedly. There's nothing left out there. That is just, you are back. You have returned to the arms of love. So, if you're like me, it can be difficult to forgive people. And it can even be difficult to forgive myself. Ernest Holmes says, all have made mistakes, and all need the release that comes from a consciousness of being forgiven. Jesus, the incarnation of cosmic love, tells us to forgive not only once or 7 times or 70 times, but 70 times 7. We must forgive until there is no longer anything that needs forgiveness. We be forgiven a lot every day from now on, right? It's like that's the spirit. That is a powerful spiritual practice to adopt, to build forgiveness into the work that we do every day. And I'm sure you can think of people to forgive, right? Is anybody that you're holding a negative thought about for something that they've done or said? But when we forgive, we're literally giving forth our false beliefs. We're giving forth our negative judgments about people and situations. We're going, I release that. I surrender that. So that I can see what's really true, because our judgments about people blind us to spiritual truth. We can get stuck there. So I'm going to tell you something personal. I don't talk about this very often. I had a twin brother. And my twin brother was named Will. Gosh, I didn't know I was going to do that. Okay, my brother died when he was 43 years old. We were 43 years old of a drug overdose. So he was addicted to heroin. And if you have any kind of addiction in your family, you know that the family dynamics revolve around the addicted person in your family. So my brother had gone through drug treatment multiple times, but he always relapsed, and we were back in it again. And I got to tell you, my brother did not want to be a heroin addict. He did not want to have this burden, but he couldn't shake it. In the end, it killed him. So after he died, I found that I had a lot of forgiveness work to do. I needed to forgive my brother for making the choices that led him into a life of addiction. And I had to forgive him for the impact that had on our family. But what surprised me was that I had to forgive myself because I felt responsible. I felt responsible for my brother's death. I wondered a lot if I had done more, if I had been more present, if I had loved him more, if I had answered more of his emails, if I had just done more, could I have saved him? So a few months after his death, I was driving down I-5 in Seattle, and I suddenly realized there was a dog running in the right lane of the freeway as fast, and it was a Pomeranian, running as fast as it could in the right lane of the freeway. And I was like, oh my God. And as soon as I saw it, I started to slow down. And I realized the person in front of me had also slowed down, and the person to the left of me was slowing down. So we all kind of realized at the same time that this dog was running down the freeway. And so we carefully slowed way, way, way down and guided this dog off an exit ramp. And it's still running. And all three of us pulled our cars over. We all got out on the safe side. And the dog kind of hit the end of the exit ramp, turned around, and came running back. And so the first, I was the third car in line. The first lady's standing out by our car. She's got her arms open, and this little dog is running right for her. And just when it got to her, it ran around her. And it ran to the next person. It looked like it was running right to the second person and then ran around that person. And then it was running right for me. And I was like, oh my God, I had my arms out. I just was like, please, sending so much love to this dog. Please come to me. And just as it got to me, it ran past me. And it ran back onto the freeway and back the other direction. I do not know what happened to that dog. I like to think that he ran home. But honestly, I don't know. But what I realized is that I could not save that dog, just like I could not save my brother. I realized my brother was on his own spiritual journey, just like each of us is on our own spiritual journey, and that it wasn't mine to do, even though it was heartbreaking for me. On the very last page of Scientific Christian Mental Practice, Emma says, God works through you to will and to do that which ought to be done by you. As God saw the works of his hands good, so I see you good. All is good. So I forgave myself because I couldn't save my brother. So let's just summarize what we've been talking about. The first thing is, the spiritual crown of glory is loving the world so fully that we are satisfied with the finished kingdom of heaven. That is the field in which we walk. It all comes from loving deeply. The second is, we're each responsible for the house we live in. We're each responsible for our consciousness. We get to choose whether it's a house of love or a house of hate. The third is, we are all spiritual broadcasting and receiving stations, right? And what we're putting out is coming back to us in a great circular system. The fourth is, love does not punish us for our mistakes. Divine love is unconditional. So are we. So is our love. But just like the prodigal daughter, we can always return to love. and we will always be welcomed home. And finally, our spiritual practice and the source of our greatest spiritual growth is to forgive ourselves and to forgive others for our mistakes. So I just want to end with the words of David, and this is Psalm 23. I have always loved this psalm, so I rewrote it slightly. The image in this psalm is of a shepherd, from that age, a shepherd tending its flock. So that's still here, but just close your eyes and listen. Divine love is my shepherd. All my needs and wants are fulfilled. Love makes me lie down in abundant green pastures. Love leads me beside the still waters of peace. Love restores my soul. Love leads me in the pathway of righteousness, which is really right useness of the spiritual law. Even though I walk through the valley of the shadow of death, I will fear no evil, for divine love is with me, in me, through me, and as me. Love's rod and love's staff protect me and comfort me. Love prepares a table of good before me, and I partake of its bounty. Love anoints my head with oil. I am blessed. I hold my cup right side up, and it is full to overflowing with good. The loving presence of Spirit is always here, forgiving mistakes, and I will live in the field of love forever. So just join me in prayer. I am so grateful right now for the presence of love. The love that is filling this room. The love that fills our hearts. I am grateful to know that I am one with this love. I am grateful to know that I can never be outside the arms of love. I am grateful to know that love is my very essence. And so I know, because I am one with this love, I stand right now in the vast field of love, supported, loved, enriched, blessed. And everything that is true of me is true of every person in this room. We are the very expressions, the very manifestation of love in the world. That is who we are. And as each of us responds to love's call, we show up in beautiful, healing ways wherever we go. I am so grateful for the teachers of love. There's a lot of them. And I release these words now into the action of the law, confident that love is multiplying everywhere. And I am a witness to love revealing itself in the world. I say thank you, sweet Spirit. And so it is. Oh, man. Thank you. All right.
Thank you, Cindy. You are absolutely a teacher of love. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Taking a good breath. And so now, I'd like to turn to another prayer, and that is the prayer for attracting our perfect senior minister. And many of you know we are still in process of our search for our next senior minister. And this prayer is a community prayer that weaves together the themes that have come from our visioning opportunities over the course of this time and process, and it gets to anchor us in even more spiritual practice as we move forward together. So if you are so called, I will invite you to join me in speaking this prayer out loud that's here on the slide. There is one infinite mind, one creative intelligence that encompasses and flows through all beings, as member of that embraces and sustains all its creation. As members of our beloved spiritual community of CSL Bellingham, we affirm our oneness with this one mind and one love. I speak my word of truth that the perfect senior minister for CSL Bellingham welcomes this opportunity. This person brings us everything we envision and even more. Someone who treasures our teachings, our community, and our location in the beautiful Pacific Northwest. I know that love is leading us to partner in creating the perfect next chapter in the story of our center. I am grateful our next senior minister is well prepared and delighted to join our community in co-creating our abundant future. We celebrate our divine match. I release these words into the law of good and let them go, confident that all is unfolding as it should, and so it is. Thank you. And I'd like to invite Steve and Carol Ford, our ushers for the day, and as you prepare your offerings for today, just thank you so much for the contributions that you make financially, especially to support our center and continue the upliftment of our spiritual community and all that it has to offer right back in one of those beautiful loops and cycles of circulation. So thank you so much.
God is my source, God is my power, God gives me everything I need. So I give thanks for all my blessings, God gives me everything I need. God is my source, God is my power, God gives me everything I need. So I give thanks for all my blessings, God gives me everything I need. God is my source, God is my power, God gives me everything I need. So I give thanks for all my blessings, God gives me everything I need. Love is my source, love is my power, love gives me everything I need. So I give thanks for all my blessings, love gives me everything I need. Love gives me everything I need. Love gives me everything I need. Woo! Yeah!
Thank you so much. So I have just a few announcements this morning, and the first is coming up after service that the monthly men's group will be meeting in the classroom at noon o'clock, so hope you can join. And practitioner Philip Flores has been a lovely leader for that group and is a great contact for it. Next, we have the Interfaith Coalition Beacon of Hope Emergency Assistance Program. So CSL Bellingham has been a longtime supporter and connection to our Interfaith Coalition here in Whatcom County. And the Beacon of Hope has been able to keep people housed with emergency assistance and helping people get into homes with deposit assistance and many, many other other emergency needs. And Interfaith also partners with a few organizations, Alms Ministry, Catholic Community Services, Lydia Place, all 7 school districts, as well as the Opportunity Council to help support and make a difference. So if you're called to find some place in addition to support, we recommend the Interfaith Coalition. And then we have a very special thank you to Devin Bruner with the Victory Garden. So many thanks to Devin, who for the past several months has logged more than 150 hours and 150 miles in preparing the garden beds. And if you're not familiar, right near the front entrance, we have a Victory Garden out there, and the food raised there goes to the Bellingham Food Bank and beyond. And Devin's been instrumental in planting a wide variety of vegetables and herbs, removing invasive species, and restoring the soil health, and also installed an automatic watering system. So Devin is stepping away, but big thanks to Devin for all of that great leadership. And if you are somebody who has a green thumb, or even, just a thumb, if you are interested in participating in some way in the Victory Garden, we would love for you to volunteer there. Just get connected with Claire in the office for a little bit more information about that. And then I hear there were some hijinks. There were, because Dougie's Gourmet Burger Feast happened. Dougie, Mike, Pat, yes, thank you so much for hosting. Woo-hoo. Are there folks who attended the burger? Yes. Oh, happy customers right there. Wonderful. And that looks like, I love those pictures. Those are just great pictures, and perfect day out on Lake Samish. Love it. And thank you all so much for hosting, and thank you for bidding. And these Gourmets for Good events are happening throughout the summer and into the fall, and are just a great time to connect. So thank you all again for your donations in so many ways. All righty. I think that may be, Teen Youth Group is coming up. And Rylan, who's back with the, waving a hand back there, doing the sound. Teen Youth Group, for anyone who's ages 13 to 18, there's a meetup happening on the 1st, 3rd, and 5th Sundays, and it's during our service, so it meets concurrently. And join us. So the next meetings are coming up on August 17th and 31st, and Rylan is a great connection. So if you have a teen in your life who's looking to get connected to some other teens in this setting, please talk to Rylan and get them invited. Love to have you. And I believe that's about it for announcements. So thank you again, Cindy Clay. And thank you, music team. Thank you all for being here today. And let's sing out into this beautiful day. Yes. Thank you.
I can feel the power of love inside me. Feel the power of love. I can see the evidence around me. We are the power of love. I can feel that my eyes are open for the truth I now embrace, and my heart is opened by Spirit and by grace. We are the power of love inside me. Feel the power of love. I can see the evidence around me. We are the power of love, and my eyes are open to the truth I now embrace, and my heart is open by Spirit and by grace. We are the power of love. 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 Yeah. We ended a little bit early, so have more fun in the fellowship room and have a wonderful day, everybody. See you next week.